Welcome to our weekly Friday Talk and Tour series when we share the opportunity to visit the studios of our wonderful artists and hear about their works and inspiration. These visits are brought to you by the Duncan McClellan Gallery and the DMG School Project of St. Petersburg, Florida. Thank you for joining us.
Happy Friday. I'm so glad to see all of you. And again, we really appreciate you supporting this, supporting our gallery, and thank you for being here. We have a lot of exciting things happening around here. We're excited about today's guest, but I want to tell you a little bit about the expansion. We're going to show you pictures next week. We're doubling the size of our hot shop. We're putting in some new safety equipment, as well as some new equipment that will allow artists to blow glass by themselves, which will be a great aid in being able to get the hot shop up again. And today we officially lit the furnace. So the process has started, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. But today we're really excited to have Jason Christian, who has worked with about every artist that has come through Seattle. And it'll be really interesting to see his fantastic work and how he takes very traditional techniques and really has a contemporary spin on them. Really glad to have you here. And Mary, please take it away.
Oh. So Jason Christian, we're so happy to have you here. Jason's embedded in the heart of the contemporary glass scene. He's a Puget Sound native, and he learned his craft with the luminaries of Seattle. And you'll see when he talks, he's in the studio taking a little break from Chihuly's studio right now. He's worked with Dale for a number of years, as well as Lino and some other people that you all know. His work embodies some of the best of traditional glassblowing practices, but as Duncan said, you'll see it's very contemporary and fresh, and we just love having his work here. So we're going to bring up Jason's presentation, and we'll hear him talk about who he is, where he came from, and how he goes about keeping inspired and creating his work.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me. You guys first had me out to your guys' studio and gallery in 2014. I came in a group show with Nancy Callan and Jeff Mack. And it was amazing to come down there and see the glass scene you guys have going on down there and what you guys have to offer. It's truly amazing and inspiring to see like everything budding and growing. It's very cool. So yeah, we'll start moving with some of the slides here. I've been making glass for 22 years here in Seattle. And I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, but I want to touch on something that's real special to me. First and foremost is my family. My wife, Brittany, there with our newborn son, Graham, who is 5 weeks now. My wife and I have now been married 3 years, and we can't be happier. There he is at week 2. Good looking fella. He's already 11 pounds at 1 month old, so he's going to be a big boy. So I'll talk a little bit about my background, where I came from and how I became who I am as an artist. My mom was a first assistant open heart nurse with a Dr. DeBakey, and he was one of the original open heart doctors here in the States. So she would hold the heart while the doctor did the procedure, and then she would suture the leg. So needless to say, she had very good hands, very steady and precise. My father, who is a metal fabricator, is creative in his own way, and they're both blue collar, which instilled a work ethic in me that I had to show up every day, and a certain level of creativity within that. Moving on. This is my current home here in Seattle. I reside in Ballard, Washington, which was actually the United States' smallest city for a long time until it got incorporated into the Seattle city limits. I've been living there for about 15 years now. And this is about 4 blocks away from my home on a bluff there. It's called Golden Gardens at Shoal Shoal Bay. And this is one of the activities I love to do. I'm an avid paddleboarder. I love getting out on the water, seeing things through a different perspective, being one with nature. This is Shoal Shoal Bay, same thing. See those bluffs out there. And this is my home, where I'm originally from, Whidbey Island, which is about an hour and a half north of Seattle, and that is called Deception Pass. The natural beauty and wildlife in that area really inspire me to make work and look at nature for inspiration. Here I am with the maestro, Lino Tagliapietro. I had the opportunity to start working with him about 9 years ago. And I jumped at the opportunity, just to open the doors and hold the paddle for the maestro. And I've learned so much from him, and I can't tell you how much I owe him. As far as being a technician as in glass and a human being, and being just a good human being. So I thank Lino. And here I am with Dale Chihuly, my 9 to 5 boss here, Monday through Friday. I've been working on Team Chihuly for 14 years. And I've had the opportunity to gaff. I've worked up kind of from the bottom, and it's been a wonderful ride. I've seen and traveled to Finland and Japan, and had opportunities that I can't say that I would have any other way working for Dale. Again, an amazing person and a mentor to me. Along with that, here I am at the Corning Museum of Glass. I've had an opportunity to do many residencies. This was 2019. Got to go and have a residency there. Amazing studio there, the museum. Yeah, the facilities are amazing. Same thing at the Corning Museum, sculpting a dragon head there.
So Jason, during these residencies, so you're showing the dragons, is this a chance for you to develop a body of work like the dragon that maybe you wouldn't have attempted somewhere else?
Yeah, these residencies are so crucial to the development, my development as an artist and a craftsman, because of I don't have the pressure of that fiscal being able to have to pay for the studio. I can focus on making the work and the designs without that big thing on my shoulders there at the end of the day to pay for the studio. So yeah, it's a pressure cooker, because oftentimes they're 1 week long and you're in the studio every day working 12 to 14 hours, going as hard as you can. But they're so crucial to the development myself and other artists I know, being a craftsperson and an artist. This one here, this photo, sorry, go back to that one. That one's that's a residency at Pilchuck Glass School. There with my friends, making another dragon there. Had that residency 2019, summer of 2019.
And you said you also have been a TA at different Pilchuck events. I think you said a number of years.
I have been a teacher at Pilchuck Glass School, and I have also been a gaffer 6 years in a row at the Pilchuck Glass School, which is amazing opportunity to make designs for artists that typically wouldn't work in glass, or would, but oftentimes you get artists that don't typically work in glass, and that's a really amazing opportunity because you're teaching and then you're learning as far as other arts go and crafts and how processes work. Yeah, an amazing opportunity.
So it just goes to show everyone how important these educational facilities are, and the facilities that give residencies to these artists really helps them with their work.
Hi, my name is Jason Christian.
So we'll start talking about my studio. Before we play this video, I'll give you a little bit about my studio and my thoughts about developing my studio and why I did it. I bought my house where my studio is. My studio is a detached garage from my house in 2006, right before the housing crisis, with the intention of creating a studio in that detached garage. So the housing crisis hit. Needless to say, I had to really bear down for a couple of years and not really do anything back there. But probably around 2008, 2009, I was able to start to really build and construct a studio that would work for me and my needs as an artist and a craftsperson. So here's a little shot of me in front of the studio, and then we'll take a quick peek into the studio, and I'll describe the things that are in there while we kind of walk through. Okay, walking into the studio here. We have a shelving unit that houses all the prepared work, cane, blanks, sculpture parts. There I store all my tools so I don't have to carry them all around in different places. Even have air conditioning there. There's my workbench, Marver, the glory hole, of course, the annealing oven, and my furnace, a 100-pound furnace. I have a little kiln so I can bring the glass up and down, and I have a little garage. So my thoughts behind creating this studio was, one, glass is like it's like karate or any other skill you're trying to develop. You need to practice it almost daily, and my thought was I needed to play a dojo to get in there and practice every day. And so that was one of the reasons I developed it. I kept everything really small because I wanted to keep costs down. You'll see my work is really technically very intricate. So what I will often do is I'll prepare those intricate patterns or designs or sculpture parts in that studio where it's a little smaller, me and one other person maybe, and keep the cost down. And then I can take those parts and bring those back up in another studio where everything's a little bit bigger and I can have more personnel to help me. That way I don't have a bunch of people standing around kind of watching me make this tiny little thing. So that was my thoughts behind developing my studio. All right, let's start getting into talking about some work here. This this is the first line of pieces of art I started making, and they are Fabergé inspired eggs. I started making these is right kind of when I began working for Lino, and I had been here working with Dale for a while, and James Mongrain and Nancy Callan, and I really wanted to push the technical limits as far as what I was doing. And so these pieces were really tricky for me at the time because of the technicalities of them, the reticello. And I'm a perfectionist. I need to have everything just right. And I can't tell you how many of these things I threw away because they just weren't perfect. So I pursued these, and knowing a little bit about the House of Fabergé, is they had the best craftspeople working to create their work. And so that's what I was really trying to do, is really trying to push the limits of my skill and improve on what I was doing. And so the reticello technique is something that is a common thread within my work, and you're going to see that in a lot of my pieces here. And we'll get to a part where I'll describe that process.
So Jason, you make the cane in your studio, and then you bring the cane elsewhere to make the reticello?
So I'll make the cane, typically in my studio. In the video where I've kind of edited together, taped all the things together, I'm actually here at the boathouse pulling the cane. But yes, I will make the cane at the studio, and then I'll actually make the pattern at my studio. And then I'll take that blank and bring that back up in another studio. And then I'll create the form from there.
Okay, I see that Joni raised her hand. Joni, do you have a question? Okay, sorry, we'll go on from here.
Sorry, no worries. I was reading this little thing here. Okay, so this is very near and dear to me. These pieces. This is called a Heritage Volpe, and you'll see the base again is the reticello, and it has a lid that is the fox. Volpe means fox in Venetian. My grandmother was Italian. She came from Italy. When I was younger, she raised me to right about when I was 12 years old. And so I have a lot of respect and pay her a lot of respect and fond memories of her. So the Volpe is a consistent thing you'll see within my work. And that's to my grandma, to pay tribute to my grandmother.
So we have a comment that your reticello is superb. And when you describe the process, please tell us how you learned this technique.
Definitely. I'll get to that for sure. There were a lot of people that really helped me to get that developed for sure. And again, within this piece right here, you'll see that the reticello technique within that. These pieces here are called yo-yos. This one is called gravity pull. And you can see they're pretty self-explanatory. It's just a giant yo-yo. This one, the scale is about 20 inches around. These pieces are extremely technically difficult, and that's what really brings me happiness within these. And the part that's the most gratifying is, and I think there's a metaphor within it, is when the two sides come together and line up just perfect, is really gratifying. you'll see this another shot here that has a 360-degree video of it. Oh, this is here. This is a, okay. Can we pause this for 1 second? Sorry. So in this video here, you'll see this is one of the yo-yos actually on the pipe. And then we're going to get into some of me actually making some work here. I'm going to let the video play. It's got some nice music to it. And thereafter, I'll answer some questions, and then we'll move on to the next shot.
Thanks, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. 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 Can we go to, actually, let's skip back one more slide to that short little video of the yo-yo. And I just want to show that, like I said, that coming together of the two bowls, very tricky. And like I said, very amazing when they does come together.
And we have Anthony saying that was an incredible roll up.
Oh, thank you. Yep, yeah. I learned that from Lino. I 100% own to the man, for sure. Yeah. All right. So here's call these bumper shoots. This is it just means umbrella. It is a festival here at the end of summer here in Seattle. Kind of signifies the end of summer here and onto fall. These pieces are very iconic to the Northwest, obviously, and you can always spot a visitor here to Seattle if they're carrying one. The locals typically do not have an umbrella when it's raining. These pieces here are both challenging in design. As you can see, there's many layers of design. There's 2 different layers, where there's Radicello in the interior, and then on the exterior, you'll see a Zanfirico cane that is twisted, and also a straight cane that is many layers of cane. So you'll see at the edge of that umbrella where it kind of undulates. I use one soft color like a blue, and then a stiff color, the white, and that gives it the undulation. So there's a lot to think about here, and these pieces are not small. They're big pieces. So they're really demanding as far as the design goes, and then scale. I have to have a really good team of glass makers to help me make these pieces. They're definitely a crowd pleaser. Once you see me come out spinning that bowl out, it's pretty amazing. This is a piece I often use to demonstrate.
Jason, what's the approximate dimensions of an umbrella like that, or the yo-yo that we saw?
So this particular piece right here is 22 around and 23 long on the handle. So, and then add another couple inches for the finial at the top. So 25 inches long by 22. The yo-yo is 18. That yellow one was 18 around by about 8 deep.
And we have a yo-yo available also at your studio, which you'll see later.
Yes. And okay, so here's a shot of the pattern and design backlit by the glory hole of that Bumbershoot. And if you zoom into that photograph there, something that's really cool, little extra bit of design in there. The Radicello, which a lot of you guys are familiar with, will have a little bubble within each one of those diamonds. And so if you look close enough, it looks like little patters of rain on top of that umbrella. That really, really made the piece for me. Okay, so we'll talk about these dragons. These are a really fun thing for me, and this is something I developed through the residency programs that I've had. This is a lot different than some of the work I made. I had the opportunity to work with a gentleman named Pino Sanguiretto, maestro from Murano. And I took a class from him, and then he came to Dales, and we made some work, and we got to travel around for about a month and a half. I was lucky to have learned a lot of techniques from him. So after that, I really felt compelled to really get into sculpting. And the dragon, I was born the year of the dragon, 1976. And glass really lends itself to like dragon's forms that are organic and really have a lot of motion to them. This is a lucky dragon. It's red. And this piece is about 16 tall by 20 wide by about 7 deep.
And these are made in pieces and hot assembled, correct?
Yes. So I'll make the little parts at my studio again, and then I'll bring those back up, and then put them all together, construct it all together. And then the detail on these pieces, if you look close enough, is the body is all cane. so that I roll up a cane roll up, and then I wrap it with a wrap, and that creates the scales on it.
But it's wrapped both ways. It's wrapped horizontally and vertically, right?
So the horizontal lines are actually the cane, and then vertically, no, vertically is the cane, and horizontal is the wrap.
Wow. Let's see. We have a comment, several comments. Joni says her bumbershoot makes her happy every time she looks at it. And Anthony
That
says,
makes
Jason,
me happy.
yeah, that's what it's supposed to do, right?
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
and Anthony says that you've had some of the best teachers in the world, but your own innate skill level is off the chart as well, seriously. So,
Thank you.
that's so obvious as we're looking at these images.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel grateful and very lucky to have had these opportunities to work with such highly skilled and creative people, and it drives me in my work ethic to make every day the best I can, and really push the limits and have a vision. So yeah, thank you.
So Jason, how do you separate the work you do every day and for other people, and then you come home to your studio and create something very different? Obviously, what you've learned at other studios translates into your work, but do you have any difficulty separating the different bodies of work as you go from one place to another?
Yeah, that can be a challenge for sure. And for me is I found some form of meditation is very important, whether it be a walk around the block, or I love running, or even going out paddle boarding and moving, getting the oxygen moving in my brain, and kind of canceling out the day to be able to focus on what is mine. And that's a good question. And yes, but the skills and knowledge I think about all the time. I definitely, you have to separate the two, emotions can get in the way. So that's why the meditation is so important.
But it's also a tribute to your school that you can, to your skill, that you can go from one to the next, and do right by whoever you're working with, and also by your own work.
Thank you.
That takes a lot of skill. Yeah.
Yeah. And focus. And there definitely is a mind shift in there. And that's, I think, in the meditation and breathing for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide there. And so this is another little video. I'm not going to talk while we play. I edited all these little videos together. So I'm just going to let the music roll and let you guys enjoy me working on the glass here.
We are
Awesome. So that was actually the last day that Lino worked here in the States before COVID, and we took our break.
Wow.
Awesome.
So-
So go ahead, Mary.
Well, no, we're going to see some of these beautiful pieces that we saw in the videos now.
Yes. So this particular piece is it's called Breakaway. It's a yo-yo, and this one I'm really excited about here. It really creates a lot of visual things going on here. On one side, there's Marini, a bundled Marini, and then on the other side is Zamfirico that I've twisted really tight. And inside the middle there is a gold ruby ball. Yeah, and this one's a really special piece here.
And that's in your studio?
This one, yeah, this one is available at my studio. Yep. And we talked about the Heritage Volpe available at my studio here.
Now, did you say that this was an early piece that you made in honor of your grandmother? Is that correct?
So I made this piece last year, and no, the fox is really in honor of my grandmother. Yeah, so the Volpe is in honor of her.
Beautiful.
And here's a Lucky Dragon available.
So, you know, any glassblower always comments on the skill involved in creating these dragons. They just can't believe it.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and there's many. There's probably in that one piece that you're seeing there. It's hard to get exact time, but I would say I put 3 work days into it, and then I had a team on that last day all day working on it.
Wow. So I can see the wrap on the dragon. You can see that it creates a texture as it's coming up the neck. You can see how the wrap stands out. So that's something you could actually feel if you touch
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely. And you can feel the cane as well. So in between those wraps, you can feel those bumps. And when the sunlight hits this piece, all the light with glass looks amazing. But this particular one, it really explodes. That red really is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And this is a vessel. I made this vessel 2017. This one was actually made in my home studio. And again, there again is the Reticello technique, and it's a flattened vessel.
It's such a classic shape.
Oh yeah, yeah, that teardrop flattened shape.
Beautiful.
Oh, so the video where I was making the goblet, that's the goblet right there.
Wow.
So yeah, that one I constructed is right there. Yeah, and yeah, I don't make a lot of goblets nowadays. I'm kind of on my path now and have embraced it. But I do enjoy doing it. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Yeah, they're kind of rare now for me to make a run of goblets. Another teardrop flattened vessel. This one actually was made in Corning in 2019. This one's beautiful. A big one.
So approximately, is that about 20 inches high?
I
Right?
believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. And so this is the like the umbrella, the bumbershoot. This is a bowl with that similar technique. I was figuring out how to get that technique dialed in. And so I made a couple bowls prior to that. And it's a perfect title for this piece. It's complicated because they are really complicated.
Well, we're happy to say that this piece sold just a few days ago at the gallery. So
all right.
congratulations.
Yes, it did.
All right. All right. All right. Fantastic. Great. But again, you can see the reticello inside, the Zamfir cocaine on the outside. Yeah, a lot of fun. The rondelles, enjoyed making those. Those were also made at my studio, along with the stands. I made the stands in my studio as well.
So you do ironwork as well?
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm making more of the glass and the metal. I have to. It's hard to keep it separated. So I like to keep my glass very, very clean. So I've been hiring someone else to do the stands as of late because of I don't like having the metal around my studio.
Well, we have several proud owners of your work here in the audience, and we just heard one of them, Patricia, who purchased that complicated bowl, and Alan is here, and he has a wonderful piece of yours. So there are
Thank you.
people here that really, really appreciate your work, and as we all do. So thank you so much, Jason, for being with us, taking the time away from Dale and away from your baby. So that's no small feat for us to claim this this hour. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. We'd love to have you back in St. Pete as soon as we possibly can, as soon as we can steal you away.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking forward to one of those blue eggs. I know that there's a demand for them. Duncan, you know, gave a little nod again for that. So, yeah.
I'm on it. Yes. I'm currently constructing one now, so we're on it. Yes, definitely.
That wasn't a nod.
that was a subtle push. Or no,
Yeah.
that was a real push. Thank you, Duncan.
Well, thank you, everyone. Jason, give hellos to the Boathouse crew for us,
Will
and
do.
and everyone. Next week we have Ben Cobb from the Tacoma Museum as our guest speaker, and he'll be really interesting. Jason, you know Ben.
Oh,
You
yeah,
guys
very
all are part of this wonderful community that we're honored to be representing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We look forward to seeing you next week. Stay safe and well. Thank you.
Take care.